Welcome to another episode of the Film Florida podcast. My name is John Lux, and I'm the Executive Director of Film Florida. Thanks for downloading this episode of the podcast. Before I introduce you to our guest, if you haven't already done so, please make sure you subscribe, rate, and review the Film Florida podcast. If you're not already a member, please consider joining Film Florida at filmflorida.org. Finally, we have a Film Florida merchandise page. Check it out at teespring.com/stores/Film Florida to purchase Film Florida t-shirts, sweatshirts, and coffee mugs. Vanilla Ice is a proud resident of Palm Beach County, Florida. He broke on the entertainment scene in 1990 when his mega hit Ice Ice Baby was released, and it quickly became the first hip-hop single to reach number one on the Billboard Hot 100 charts, and eventually sold more than 17 million copies. Since then, he's appeared in feature films and made numerous reality television appearances. Now, his own real estate and home renovation series, The Vanilla Ice Project, is in its 9th season on DIY. We talked to him about the last 30 years in the entertainment industry, as well as his own numerous philanthropic efforts. Here's my conversation with Vanilla Ice. Welcome to the Film Florida podcast.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you for having me.
So I typically start our interviews with a bit of a backstory. So before you became the Vanilla Ice we've known for the last 30 years, what was your childhood like? If we asked you in the 1980s what you'd be doing in 2020, what would you have said?
I would have said, I have no idea. I always say, believe in the unexpected. Always expect the unexpected. And the reason is because, so many things can change everything. Like, it's good to have goals and set goals and stuff, but you could meet someone and, all of a sudden all your plans change, or, a job opportunity and all of a sudden you're in another city or something. You never know you can't predict the future. So I always say yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery.
So in 1989, you released your first record, and a year later, the B-side of that was released, and 72 hours later, radio stations went crazy receiving requests to play Ice Ice Baby, forever, placing itself in history as the first hip-hop single to reach number one on the Billboard Hot 100 charts. So by late 1992, over 17 million copies were sold. And it's still holding the record for the highest debut album. Talk about those couple years from the time that was released until, 1991, 92. I'm sure it was pretty crazy for you.
It was so crazy. I mean, it was like a snow globe, it was just shaking up. And you have to wait a few years before it'll settle. And that's kind of what it was, I was up on a big wave, and I still am. It's amazing. Nobody can predict what happened with me. I knew I loved poetry, and I knew that, it was a big part of my life. And, I was involved in the movement with the break dancing and everything. So I would spin it on my head with a piece of cardboard and a jam box, and I would make $40, $50 a day chasing the girls around, eat some pizza, have some change left over, and I had more money than the rich kids across the tracks, I loved it. I didn't think much from it, but when it was time for me to do my music, I think all the influences that had happened in my life led to me doing the type of music and the type of poetry that I wanted to do, which was hip hop. That was the only form that I even could express myself doing. So it was such a amazing thing that I was just doing it for the thrill and the fun of it. And in the 90s, as the invention of the house party came along. That was when it just took like a regular, a party at a house to a whole nother level. And it was all about music and enjoying the company of the dancing and the music and the neon colors and fanny packs and, hammer pants or whatever. and then came the Ninja Turtles, which is,
right.
The greatest accomplishment ever, career-wise for me, because I am such a geek and a fan of the Ninja Turtles still to this day. I have a big collection of old crazy stuff. I even have a cereal bowl from 1985 and like some weird stuff, that unless you're a complete geek like me on the Ninja Turtles, you shouldn't have it at my age. But I love it. And, it's a part of my career, and it's just something that we gravitate to. And a lot of people, a lot of kids and stuff that weren't even born during Ice Ice Baby, they thank God for YouTube, because they know Ice Ice Baby, of course, but they love the Ninja Rap, man. The Ninja Rap is just like the big hit of that youthful generation, and it keeps reproducing itself just like the Ninja Turtles. I mean, we grew up on them, and our kids are growing up on them, and they love them just the same. It's amazing. The success of that movie, Secret of the Ooze, which was, actually part 2, but it was also the highest grossing Ninja Turtle movie of all time. So that led to Russia, China, Japan, and all the, countries that you would never expect tuning into that and discovering Vanilla Ice through there. And then they're like, whoa, Ice Ice Baby. Okay. So it's a fun, it's a fun ride, man. It's a great wave.
Well, and then between the mid-90s and the early 2000s, your career and your personal life had some ups and downs. Talk about that time and how it changed the course of your life for the better.
Well put. Yeah, for the better, for sure, because every negative is a positive if you survive it. I had a weekend that lasted about 4 years. I was only 16 when I wrote Ice Ice Baby, so I never really got a chance to be much of a kid, a teenager. I never got to really grow up. I was handed all this. I mean, I didn't have a choice but to grow up, but I didn't grow up like at the pace everybody else does, if that makes sense. So just as a kid, the greatest thing about being a kid is basically, not being a lousy adult, like paying bills and accepting responsibilities and, all the stuff that we have to do as adults. It's just no fun. It's much better being a kid. You only get one chance to do that. So I never really got that chance. But I tell you, man, it was amazing. And you live and you learn. And I always believe that we are who we are because of who we were, So everything negative or positive, it makes you who you are today. It's all positive if you look at it like that. So I'm just excited, man. I've got 3 kids I've had since Ice Ice Baby. And I've got a 22-year-old daughter who just graduated. She knows music publishing because I own a lot of publishing and different things like this. So she's got her degree already, and she knows a lot about entertainment business, which is great. So very proud of her. I got a 19-year-old who's she's at art school, so she's doing that, and then I've got a 1-year-old baby, and starting all over again. So more ice cream, more Disney trips,
Sure.
And I'm still on tour with the music around the world. Very successful tour called I Love the 90s Tour, which I put together with Universal, and it's me, Salt and Peppa, Coolio, Naughty by Nature, Color Me Bad, All for One, and Biz Markie and Tone Loc and Young MC. And it is like all the music that you would hear at a wedding. It's the greatest time you will ever have. We have a big, broad demographic, and we have the highest grossing alcohol sales of any tour going right now. I have a very expendable audience, and a lot of people actually watch my TV show, so they're supporting that and coming out, and of course they remember the music, but it's just all age groups. It's amazing. It's a lot of fun. It really is. And people come dressed up. People our age, or I don't know how old you are, sorry, but people my age come dressed up like Ninja Turtles and wearing neon colors and fanny packs. It's such a throwback. Great experience. I love it.
Well, and you mentioned the TV show, the Vanilla Ice Project, is now in its 9th season on DIY. Talk about the accomplishment that, to have a television show on, period, is an accomplishment. But now you're in the 9th season. How did that show come about? And talk about your passion for the series and what it means to film most of it here in Florida.
Oh, yeah, it's great. I love filming the show. I didn't even want a TV show because I had already been doing construction for over 23 years. And I was already a licensed GC, And then about 18 years ago, I went to design school and I got me a degree. So I learned how to do all the stuff along the way, step by step. And watching it on TV, it goes a lot faster than reality. I wish it went that fast, you know. And some of my friends who have never flipped a house before, it inspires them to do it. And I mean, some of them, you know, they get through the first time experience, and then the other ones are like, oh my God, I blew my budget already. I'm too far into this, and I don't know what to do. I can't turn back, and it's a nightmare, and blah blah blah. You know, because it does look a little easier on TV. You know, they have to edit it down, but it is real work. I've been doing it a long time, and I've had great success here in Florida. I mean, this is a great fishing hole if you're going to have some fishing poles in the water for, you know, real estate, because as you know, this is a very well, South Florida for sure is, especially Palm Beach area is, you know, there's a lot of money here. The people are loaded, more billionaires and millionaires per capita than any place in the world. So the type of stuff that I do is very, I don't know how to say it, kind of Gilded Age Palm Beach, you know, which is very expensive, so to speak, and high end. And I buy these houses and have to sell them and flip them myself, even though we're filming it on TV. I put the whole risk up. So I got to make sure that we do it right, you know, and so we showcase a lot of the latest and greatest in home technology and home design, and it's really fun showcasing it, and there's a lot of new products that are just blowing me away. I always go out and travel to like these builder shows, like these international builder shows. I go to the big one in Vegas, which is the CES show, the builder show, and different things like that. And I find a lot of the consumer electronics that they're using in homes, but I also find the new tiles, the new drapery fabrics, the new electronic drapes. And they even have this thing called wallpaper TV, which I'm showcasing on the next season, actually coming up. It's no more flat screen TV. Basically, you take a flexible strip of LED, you know, paper, and it's 1080p, it's 4K, and you plug another one in next to it, and another one next to it, and you can put as many as you want, and basically you can do, you know, a 200-foot screen if you want. No more projectors, no more flat screens, and it's, you know, of course it's pricey because it's just coming out right now, but that is the wave of the future right now for homes. A few years back, I remember I was introducing how you can talk to your home and have it open your drapes and turn your thermostat on and cook a turkey for you and put Forrest Gump on at 10 o'clock. That's now known as kind of like Siri or Alexa, so stuff like that. And it's funny, I was talking about that before it even came out, like 8-9 years ago. Technology is crazy, but as you can see, I'm very passionate about it. I love it, and I've had good success doing it, and I love that people are inspired after they watch the show to go fix up their homes, because that is the American dream, is to own your own home and fix it up, you know, the way you like it, and make it home and decorate it for the holidays. And, you know, that's what it's all about. Raise a family there, renew your vows with your husband or wife in the backyard, and watch your kids run up and down the street, you know. It's a good thing. So I really appreciate all the people tuning in for all the years.
And now giving back is really important to you, and you've done that for a number of years in your home county there in Palm Beach. I know you don't like patting yourself on the back about it, but talk a little bit about the philanthropic work that you do.
You know, I don't really like any kind of attention towards me for it. I try to get all the attention to go to the children. Years and years ago, over 20, Make-A-Wish Foundation brought me in to meet this kid, little Michael, and he had a bone marrow disease, and he was 9, and I went and saw him, and it was like electricity going through my body, man, and it just changed my life forever. And I realized, wow, we as a celebrity can make such a difference, but just anyone with the right heart as a human can make a big difference. And what I try to do is inspire people that, you know, listen, smiles are contagious, and that goes through all the thickness and walls of everything, meaning, you know, my charities that I do the work for is mainly for terminal ill children, not even kids that have a chance. And they're still alive, and they know that they've been given a bad hand, and they're all 9 and under, and, you know, they're still kids, and they may be going through treatments and things like this, but there's not much hope for them. It's leukemia and cancer and really sad cases that most people go around. But I'm going to promise you, if you go in there and you see the kids, they just want to be kids. And if you understand about smiles being contagious, when you walk in, they're smiling and they just want to be a kid. So we get them out of the hospital. I took them one year to the airport at Palm Beach. I put them on an airplane and I didn't take off. The pilot just kind of gave it a little bit of gas down the runway and they're all like, yay. And we pull into a hangar and we have real snow blowing and we have carousel and Santa Claus and toys, and they get off the plane and they're so happy. Everybody is so happy. They're not stuck in a hospital with, everybody sad around them. They're so excited. These are the type of things that really make a difference in people's life. And we try to create those magical moments, and they do spread like butter, man. They are just all good on anything. And to see the kids being so happy like that, it really is magical. And that's what life is all about, man, for everybody to enjoy smiling and enjoy, what we have for every moment.
And in addition to that, you're highly involved with the Palm Beach's Student Showcase of Films. And for those that aren't aware, the Student Showcase of Films is now in its 25th year and is Florida's largest student film competition. And it's run by our friends at the Palm Beach County Film and Television Commission. The award show features the Vanilla Ice Music Video Award. Talk about what it means to be involved in the Student Showcase of Films and to have that award named after you.
Oh, it's a huge honor. Being in the entertainment industry for so many years, I've met so many different people. And like I see it, from my TV show alone, as I was just talking about, inspiring people. But everything I've done, I think, through music, through, television, and even the movies I've done with Adam Sandler. And I've got a new movie coming out real soon in March. Just all this inspires all the youth and the talent out there. And, when I went to my first student showcase, I already knew Burt Reynolds, but when I saw him, he inspired me. So his legacy and his energy and his wisdom is what has really inspired me to do what I do for the showcase, because the film is important and there's talent everywhere. And these kids are kind of lost, today. A lot of them play Fortnite. A lot of them are stuck just wasting time instead of being creative. And this kind of helps inspire them to say, oh, well, let me spend a little time, maybe make a movie, learning some kind of editing format or something, and put something together and get creative or write poetry or do something. This inspires them. And I've seen a lot of success come from it. And it's another little fairy dust thing that we sprinkle around and give a lot of local love here to, a lot of the talent that's inspiring up and coming talent here in Palm Beach area. South Florida's got a lot of talent.
So all of these things went into our organization naming you the 2018 Film Florida Legends Tourism Ambassador Award, which is awards somebody that has accomplished a lot in the entertainment industry, but while also being a great ambassador for the state of Florida. I was there that night, and what struck me watching you interact with the guests was you stood there for more than an hour after the ceremony taking pictures with people. It wasn't that you wanted attention or anything. It just felt like you genuinely enjoyed making those people happy and giving back to them. It would have been easy for you to just get the award, shake a few hands, and take off. But it seemed like you actually enjoyed hanging out and wanted to, just stay and hang out with the people.
I love interacting with the people. I'm a very talkative guy. I'm the guy that'll sit on an airplane with a big Venti Starbucks and tell you my life story. I love talking. I don't need a TV. I don't need a cell phone. In fact, I'd rather have my flip phone than these phones today. I miss the 90s. but we spend way too much time on it. It takes away from talking. I love interacting with people. And I feel sad for all these people today that have to interact with people through the internet, because that's cyber world. You're not in reality. You're not in real world. It's better to meet people and socialize and talk. And my motto is shake a hand and make a friend. And I love it. I love interacting with people and talking and just hearing great stories and meeting people. It's a lot of fun. And, you get to see people's facial expressions. You get to see the wit and everything. There's something about talking and enjoying company. And it's just a great thing that we should all do a lot more of. And I don't want to run out of there like some pampered LA celebrity. I'm not that guy. I like people, and I want to stay in there and hang out. The minute I leave, the excitement's over for me. I'm back in a hotel room all alone. It's no fun.
Well, and I hear that a documentary is being made about your life. Tell us how it feels knowing that a film is being made about you, and how did that come about?
Well, it happened through Burt Reynolds and Hillary and Michelle Hillary and Chuck and all the connections they have with Frank. Frank is a great editor, and he came up with an idea. And then I met, how you connect with people, and I met Helen Murphy through Canada, and who's a big music publisher, but way beyond that. And now she's the CEO of Anthem, which is publishing companies. And anyway, long story short, this all came and inspired as basically through Frank. And he was like, man, and he came out and we did the Ship Hop tour. He's got everybody's interview from Charles Koppelman to Daniel Glass. These are all big guys that are like major record mogul guys that have, invented everybody from Britney Spears to, NSYNC to Backstreet to whatever it is, and anybody in between, all the way back to Otis Redding and Gladys Knight. So, I mean, it really goes back. These guys are magical, and I got everybody on this thing. So this is a very amazing adventure, and it's on Showtime, and it's coming at the end of this year. So it's going to be a fun one to watch. And I haven't seen but just clips and whatnot of it, and what I've seen just gives me goosebumps. It's magical, it's very inspirational, and it builds you up to make you, do what my mom always told me: follow your dreams. So this is kind of a life story about me, but it inspires people to kind of take a bigger step towards finding their dreams and making them happen and making them come into reality.
Well, I know you are extremely busy. You were kind enough to squeeze us in today in between appointments. And I just want to thank you for taking the time to speak with us. And thank you for your continued support of the film and television industry here in Florida.
Oh, my pleasure, man. And thank you. And the new movie that's coming out is called The Wrong Missy. It's with Adam Sandler and Happy Madison. The new movie comes out in March.
Well, we will definitely keep an eye out for that. Thanks
again.
again.
I appreciate it, my friend. Thanks for your time. Have a good one.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Film Florida podcast. For more information about Film Florida, go to filmflorida.org or visit our social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Visit the Film Florida merchandise page at teespring.com/stores/filmflorida, and please remember to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast.